What's up, YouTube? This is Bison X79, guys. Today I'm coming to my latest deck profile video for June 2020. And today, guys, we're going to be looking at my updated Nekroz deck. The last ban list didn't do much, but it did do a lot for Nekroz. All the Nekroz cards are now officially off the list, so the deck technically is at full power. And I can tell you right now, I'm really loving this particular version of the build because this allows me to put monsters on the board, get a roadblock on the board to lock your opponent out of special summoning, and even if they can special summon from the extra deck, you have another floodgate to knock out those effects. So it is just an insane control style deck. There are a lot of different strategies I've seen out there, but this particular Impcantation build I feel is one of the better builds to be running, primarily because it can establish that roadblock against Nibiru very early in your play string, and just being able to lock your opponent out from special summoning, that's the pretty big key idea. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this deck. And of course, we're going to talk about 3 copies of Nekroz Unicorn. This guy just came off the list. He's at 3 while on the field. Any monster special from the extra deck your opponent controls cannot activate their effect, so it shuts down their playmaking potential by a whole lot. Furthermore, all Nekroz cards do have a discard effect. If you discard Unicorn, you can actually get another Nekroz card back from your graveyard added to your hand, which is actually pretty damn awesome. And just having this card back at 3 is just so useful for the deck. Moving forward, we got 3 copies of Nekroz Bionic. Bionic, you discard, and you can search your deck for any Nekroz monster. So it is an R-type Rhoda for the Nekroz deck. When it's summoned to the field, you can target up to 2 monsters, special summon an extra deck, shuffle them back into the deck, and break up board. So it's just an amazing card, especially after you establish Unicorn. So 3 of each. 2 copies of Colossus. Colossus, discard him, search any Nekroz ritual spell from your deck to your hand. Very useful. Consistency boosts the deck. On field, has a quick effect where basically it can bottom out your opponent's monster's attack as well as negate their effects for the rest of the turn. So yeah, it's a pretty good damage step trick. So next we have 1 copy of Nekroz Gungear. Gungear, very useful for a discard effect. You target 1 face of Nekroz monster, and that monster can't be destroyed by battle or card effect, which is actually very awesome, and which is the primary effect we're going to be using. She does have the ability to pitch other cards to the graveyard to pop cards, so if you need spot removal, she's also there for your service. So 2 copies of Necro Valkyris. Valkyris is the battle fader for the Nekroz deck. Discard him and banish a Nekroz monster from your graveyard, and you can actually end the battle phase to protect your monsters from being destroyed by battle. So we get another pretty nasty trick. And then while he's on the field, you can tribute up to 2 monsters from field and or hand to basically draw up to 2 cards. So very worthwhile card to have. 2 copies of Nekroz Trishula. Trishula, discard effect allows you to discard him to protect your monsters from being destroyed by card effects, which is actually pretty damn useful. Also, on summon, you can target up to 3 cards, 1 on the field, 1 from your opponent's graveyard, 1 from your opponent's hand, and banish them. You have to hit all 3. You can't just do 2, then you won't get the effect. So very good for board busting. That's it for the Nekroz rituals. We have 1 more ritual monster, and that's Cyber Angel Ben 10. Ben 10 can basically, if you tribute her, you search your deck for the 1 copy of Vanity's Ruler. Vanity's Ruler, when you tribute summon this card onto the field, it takes 2 tribute summons. It locks your opponent out from special summoning, which is just amazing on turn 1. And considering that you're utilizing the incantations, you're going to have the 2 bodies you need on the field for the single normal summon. So this is the card you want to save your normal summon for, just to lock your opponent out of special summoning. So altogether, very damn useful. We are running 1 copy of Shurret. I'm in this particular version of the deck. Definitely run only 1. To be very honest, if I was going to be running more pure, I would probably dump bump this guy up to 3 copies because its effect allows you to use him as the entire level cost for one of your ritual summons for your Nekroz monsters. So definitely an amazing card. Alright, and for the incantations, 3 candles and 3 talismanders, and that is it. I'm finding more and more with ritual decks that this is pretty much all you really need. The other incantations kind of slow and gum up the deck a little bit. I mean, you could make a case for possibly the Chalice Slime being able to pitch an incantation monster from your hand to special summon one from the deck. I mean, if you want to go that route, fine, but I'm just, with the way Nekroz operates and the ability for you to be able to get back resources from the graveyards easily, these are the only 2 cards you need. Basically, you special summon one, special summon the other, and if you special summon the other by the first effect, you get to search either a ritual spell or monster. Talismandra is the monster, Candle is the spell searcher, so there you go. And like I said before, these 2 cards on the field are going to be your tribute fodder for Vanity's Ruler. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells, gotta respect hand traps. 3 copies of Call by the Grave. It's very important to stop hand traps because hand traps could wreck your plays. That's why we're running them. Also a very awesome card in the Eldritch matchup. So if your opponent basically chucks the Golden Boy and one of the face-up spells or traps on the field to remove one of your cards from the field, Call by the Grave, the Golden Boy, and you pretty much save your field. So definitely worth it. 2 copies of Extra Foolish Burial. Gets Herald of the Arclight into the graveyard ASAP. Allows you to search your ritual monsters and spells. 3 copies of Kaleidoscope. I am liking 3 copies of Kaleidoscope primarily because utilizing your extra deck for ritual fodder is something that Nekroz does insanely well. And I'm actually liking the way it works. You can bring out multiple monsters at once and set up a field where I can shut down your opponent's monster's effects and spin them back to the deck. So, yeah. Worthwhile. 2 copies of Nekroz Cycle. This allows you to ritual summon from the graveyard. Very important. And then 2 copies of Nekroz Mirror. I like the 2-2-3 style ratio with these particular cards, primarily because you want to be seeing your ritual spells a little bit more often. This way you don't have to search them. And it just works. 2 copies of Pot of Extravagance. Pot of Extravagance, this allows you to see 2 extra cards, which is just awesome. Activated at the beginning of your turn. 2 copies is all you really need. You don't really need more than 1 because you kind of want to keep certain monsters in your extra deck. I padded the extra deck in a way to turn on protected. And 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. Just an amazing card. Allows you to search a ritual monster from your deck and get back a ritual spell from your graveyard. So being able to recur your resources in this deck is pretty key. So very awesome. And last but not least, 1 copy of Rhoda, because there are a lot of lower level warrior type monsters in this deck, and just being able to search them out without having to spend Brionic on it, worth it. That's it for the main deck. Extra deck, 3 copies of Herald of the Arclight. Herald is just an amazing level 4 monster. Send it from your extra deck to your graveyard. You're searching your deck for a ritual spell or monster, and just being able to do that is just an amazing card. So definitely 3 copies of Elder Entity Nist. Nist is just a great card. Again, sending this card from the extra deck to the graveyard allows you to clear your opponent's field of problematic cards. So spot removal is very awesome. Plenty of ways to do this. We got both Extra Foolish Barrel as well as Kaleidoscope in this deck, so you have plenty of targets for your Nekroz of Unicorn. Alright. For other Kaleidoscope targets, we are running 1 copy of Brionic for level 6. For level 10s, I have 2. I have the Red Dragon Archfiend Bane as well as the Shooting Star Dragon. Like I said, I padded the extra deck to basically make use of multiple monsters of the same level, primarily because if you pile up extravagance one of the monsters, whether it be level 10 or one of the higher level ones, it's going to be very hard if you only had one monster of that level. So that's the primary reason why I'm padding level 10. There are a lot of different ways to go into level 10s into this deck, and that's why I'm running 2 level 10 monsters. There's also another play that I have built into the extra deck that can actually get him out on the field as well. So 1 copy of Star Eater, and then the 2 level 12s. You got Blue Eyes Ultimate and Shooting Quasar Dragon. Pretty much rounds out the Kaleidoscope fodder choices. 1 Xyz monster. I am running Escobeetle. And this is pretty much of an old school Nekroz play for back when when the deck first came out. Basically, you use Kaleidoscope to send your Quasar Dragon to the graveyard to summon out 2 Brionix to the field. You overlay your 2 Brionix, or you can even use Ben 10, but we want the 2 Brionix to form Escobeetle. Escobeetle's effect will activate, equipping Quasar to it. And then if the opponent manages to get Escobeetle off the field, Quasar will be sent to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, and by doing that triggers its effect, and that allows you to special summon out the Shooting Star Dragon, giving you a 33 attack 100 attack point beater. So pretty awesome and old school style play, but hell, it works still, and it can take your opponent by surprise, so worth it. And then last but not least, I'm running 1 copy of Area, the Water Charmer, Gentle, and 1 copy of Access Cold Target. The primary reason why I'm running these 2, because it's kind of a follow-up play for your second turn, primarily because if you're going second, you can easily make Area with a Nekroz plus 1 other monster. One of the incantations will work wonders, and from there you can actually snatch your opponent's Hackwaffabacks from the graveyard, get it onto your field, and then using Area, the Hackwaffabacks, as well as the other incantation, you can bring out Axis Coldharker, and from there you can actually basically have a pretty nasty monster on the field that your opponent can't really respond to. So definitely an awesome card to have in any deck that can access it. Guys, that is it for my Nekroz Impcantation deck for the June 2020 format. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe. Enable notifications, especially the YouTube notifications, so you don't miss a single upload. Check out the description box below. Find the links to my affiliates, tcgplayer.com, as well as sidedeckversus.com. 2 great resources for any Yu-Gi-Oh player. Follow me on social media, Twitter and Reddit. If you guys want to help grow my community, the link to my Discord server is down in the description box as well. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. Guys, as always, until next time, peace.